Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Ahmedabad Management Association, I welcome you all to the today's panel discussion. It is a very interesting subject, like navigating the opportunities and challenges for next-gen family business in New India. So we are talking about 21st century and looking at India 2047. Welcome to today's panel discussion on navigating the opportunities and challenging for next-gen family business in New India. We have a distinguished panel of experts with us who will share their insights on navigating the complexities and seizing the opportunities in dynamic landscape. Family business play a crucial role in our economy, often spanning generations. Today, we will explore the unique challenges faced by next generation leaders, identify strategic opportunities in the current market, and discuss how entrepreneurial education can pave the way for a seamless transition and sustained success. I would like to introduce our distinguished panelists today. Dr. Acharya. He is an academician in the area of entrepreneurship education. He holds expertise in training budding entrepreneurs as well as grooming developed entrepreneurs with academic and research experience of over 23 years. He is engaged with Startup Focus initiative of Government of Gujarat, MHRD, Innovation Cell at All India Council of Technical Education and various universities and institutions. He teaches courses in new enterprise creation, entrepreneurial finance, and security analysis. He has conducted various management development programs in areas such as agri-entrepreneurship, technology entrepreneurship, and business incubation. He has been honored with the National Teachers Award 2023 by the President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmuji. Give a big clap for him. I would like to facilitate Dr. Satya Ranjan Acharya. Our second panelist is Dr. Hitesh Shukla. He is an academic and shaper of the family business field. For decades, his insights, advice, lectures, and writing have helped develop leaders, professionalize businesses, strengthen families, and pass sustainable enterprises from generation to generation. He advises families on topics such as long-term success, ownership, and family governance, developing the next generation, succession transitions, conflict resolution, and family harmony, ownership and business strategy, professionalizing the family business and life and career planning, selling the family businesses, and many other issues important to family enterprises. I would like to facilitate Dr. Hitesh Shukla. And our third panelist is Mr. Mitul Shah. He has joined SUPEC Group in 2001 after completing his postgraduate diploma in business, entrepreneurship and management, specializing in family business management from the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, Ahmedabad. SUPEC Group, established in 1963, is a pioneer in corrugated box manufacturing in India and a key player in the industry. He has a diverse experience from shop floor management to business management. He has a strong interest in technology, driving technological upgrades at SUPEC. He is also actively involved in the Indian Corrugated Case Manufacturers Association as a governing council member and has held various roles in regional and national corrugated industry association. I would like to facilitate Mr. Mitul sir. Now, we will start. The first topic is understanding family business and current trends. Let us begin by defining the scope. Professor Hitesh Shukla, Could you please elaborate on what constitutes a family business and why it is pertinent to discuss them now, especially in current market trends?
Thank you, Giriraj, and thank you EDI and AMA for this opportunity. If you have to see what is family business and how the business is growing, the family business is as old as human being. The oldest form of organization is the family business. You can see it from the pop and mom store to SMEs to multinational corporations. They are all managed and owned by family owned businesses. That can be a form of any kind of form of family owned businesses. If you look generally, it was started by an entrepreneur. Nobody in his family believes his idea. Nobody supports him. But he works on his own. His resources initially were his own family, not the resources of finance, but the mental support. Initially, they don't believe him, that idea, but they support them. So the resources is very less, the ideas, the person walks on his own and he makes an empire. So what I want to say is a business which is started by an individual, supported by a family. So now it is 100% controlled by one individual or by one family. So the first generation entrepreneur is always controlled, 100% controlled entrepreneurs. I call it as in my own terminology, as a king model of business, where the entrepreneur's words becomes the rule of the family and the rule of the business. Everybody in his family now believes, market also believes in his ability, in his innovation, and so they supported him, they follow him. But now when the husband and wife team followed by their children, it becomes a family. And that family, next generation when they come, the 100% ownership is divided among the sibling. So now let's say take an example, there are 4 children, we don't go in the gender. So four children, so the ownership is divided and it becomes an inherent business. That is the second generation, and we call it as a family owned business. There are 2 definitions you look at any review of literature. The ownership is controlled by the family, but you look at the great case of India, Asian Paint, which was started by 4 friends. That's not from the one family. Who believes one vision? There should be one common vision that 4 family believes, invested, work together on a common vision and common goal. So that's history, and there are exit route in that case. That may be one of the greatest challenge for family-owned businesses. If there is no exit route, then it creates a problem for the family. But now you look, so I hope you understand what is called family business, a business that is controlled by a family or group of people. Family may be defined by marriages, by adoptions, and all the ways and means we have in a society. Now we go, what he said, what is the significant and how old it is. Recently, in the last February, I worked with one of the organizations in Japan that was 55 generation old family business. Sudoku Hokin of Japan. Can you imagine how many family members are there in 55 generation? Just imagine one father. The founder has only 2-3 sons, not more than that. During the COVID time, I worked with one of the group, Zayed group of Saudi Arabia. Their social system, family system is different. One gentleman was having 4 wives, and each one is having 7-8 children. Can you imagine in 3rd generation, 168 family members are working together? Now my point is that, how can we decide, suppose the first model, king model, what I said, he's the 100% owner, he's controlling the business, he's controlling the family, and everybody believes him. But who will be the next chairman? The great subject here chosen by AMA and EDII is NextGen family business. All right. So NextGen, who will be the chairman? You just imagine 100 divided by 168 owners in the 3rd generation. So suppose we are cousins in the third generation, your ownership or my ownership is less than 1, is not even 1. How we will take the decision? That's a great challenge, and that's we have to understand. Now we look at some of the roots of the family business. I come here with some data. Honsi Rakin was started in 718. It's owned by same family in Japan. Bangli Arm was started at 953 in UK. That's still alive and growing. Very important. Chitandugulin is in France. Was started in 1000. Merck, we all know medicine company, that is in 14th generation, was started in 1668. I have my own book that was Family Business Roots to Root. You can see in that book, the Indian history is also written. If you look at the formal business Indian history, that was started by Wadia in 1736, then followed by Birla, followed by Tata, Dabur, Kirloskar, Godrej, and Marugappa, and so on and so forth. If you look at the recent trend in growth of the family businesses, third point in the question, what is the contribution? Globally, you go and see, whatever part of the world, the majority business is family business. If you look at the data, 68% minimum, 68% businesses of the globe is of family business. If you look at the listed company of Bombay Stock Exchange, 83% companies are from family-owned business. When I'm saying family-owned business, it may be controlled or it may be managed, own or manage, or sometime by both. That's the condition of family-owned businesses. And you will surprise, there are companies that has only ownership of 4%, that is managing family. They are enjoying the legacy. Rest is with the open public who don't have even 4% of ownership. That is also called the family-owned businesses. Great companies we at this age see, the recently growing companies are like, Adani's, Birla's, then Asian Paint, one of the greatest company, and very important company is Marico. Why I love Marico very much? One individual has converted unbranded product into a branded product, commodity into a product. And the greatest thing, the significant, one small company is fight with multinational organizations, and not fight, but acquire the brand of multinational organizations, and they put it in their portfolio. That's a great case. Small companies like, I'm from Rajkot, so I'll quote example of Balaji Wafers. That was once upon a time supposed to taken over by multinational organizations in wafer brand, but that company has fight back and they have expanded, professionalizing their business in the third generation. So that company is a great companies in family business. If you look at the financial data, whatsoever year, whatsoever part of the world, the family-owned businesses are always competing and 2 steps ahead, not 1 step ahead, than that of its counterpart, what I mean to say non-family organizations or the government organizations, in terms of return, in terms of employment, in terms of contribution to the GDP, in terms of taxpayers. So that's I'll conclude the questions that family-owned businesses are considered as the growth engine of any economy, whether it's India, USA, or China, or any part of the world. But the Japan is considered as a home of family-owned business, followed by Germany, and India to have a great legacy of family-owned businesses. Thank you very much, Giriraj. Hope you have covered all your points.
Yes, thank you, Professor Hitesh, for setting up the stage. Now, Mr. Mitul Shah, as a next-gen leader in your family business, what strategic opportunities do you perceive in the current Indian market landscape?
Hi, thank you all for inviting me on this dais. Thanks to AMA and EDI for this opportunity. Fine. So yes, we just to give you a brief, our company was started way back in 1963, and I have seen its own ups and downs in terms of family, what sir has said. And regarding the opportunities, I made some notes. So NextGen are better educated, they're well traveled, and their adoption to technology is much higher. What I am trying to say over here is that as the new generation comes into the business, they tend to, as my father made sure that I got educated, and then I was sent to EDI to do family business management. So I have learned some, I've gained some knowledge. I have met people. I have done my finances that my father didn't do. So there is always a higher opportunity if there is a trust on the next generation to do their part to take the business forward. According to, there was a survey by PwC that family business in India has surpassed global average growth of family businesses. So here again, I underline what Sir said, that they are the growth engines at the end of the day. In terms of technology, both service and manufacturing industries are doing tremendously well in India, and most of them are family owned. What I foresee now, or what I see as an opportunity, is earlier mergers and acquisitions, technological transfers, R&Ds, joint ventures were always talked about for the big corporates. Now, if you see the trend, even the smaller size companies and medium size companies have opportunity to do joint ventures, mergers and acquisitions, technological transfers. Has become very easy now. Only thing is you have to be at the right place at the right time. And so again, I believe over here is, as a next gen entrepreneur, one should make sure people in your, say, if you are a family business owner and your kids are coming in, or your other relatives are coming into businesses, you make sure you make them travel. That is what I have experienced. In my initial years, I traveled across India first, then I traveled internationally, and made sure that I participate and take part in exhibitions and conferences. Create my own niche network, learn what new products, new technologies are available in the market for your own business. This is extremely important. Why? Because in nowadays, everybody feels like today, we are meeting one-on-one, right? There's an experience share. It's a two-way experience share. In today's generation, there is a gap of people learning through YouTube. They feel that, yeah, it's available on the net, I'll search it, and it's a one-way communication, right? You cannot ask a question to a YouTuber, why this, why that, right? So what has helped me over this many years is my network with my suppliers in technology that I buy. I have got the fantastic network with them. And this has all come through this so many years of travel, meeting people, going into exhibitions, learning technology, adapting technology. And this gives a huge opportunity for the next generation to go out, step out, and see what's happening in real world. Visit plants of your competitors, similar businesses across the world, and then you come to know, okay, then you benchmark yourself. Okay, this is where I am, this is where I need to reach. Or you have this dream of reaching there somewhere. Last, I would like to say is that I just like to share an experience. Way back 15 years back, I was traveling to Germany. And I happened to had met one of the company known as BHS. It's one of the best companies in our industry for corrugation, box making plant. And I happened to meet him in one of the exhibitions a year before. And when I was there in Germany, I asked the fellow that I'll be in Germany. I am sure that I'll not be buying your technology, but I just want to visit your factory to learn and see what's happening in our industry. And in 2024, finally, I bought their equipment, and it is getting installed today. So it's very important that you have a vision of where you want to go through travels. Yeah.
Thank you, Mitul. Now, building on Mitul's insight, Professor Satya Acharya, what are the critical success factors for aspiring entrepreneurs within family-owned enterprises, particularly in light of the market opportunities discussed?
Thank you. Thank you, Girirajji and AMA for this discussion. Hitesh sir has already built the whole background, what is called family business and how is required, and Mitul has already explained his own personal experience, that how he has actually done through networking and understanding technology. So at this point of time, when want to look into India and also how we are trying to, or how the country is going to be shaped over the next certain period, we are all targeting for 5 trillion economy. I think all of us are knowing about the Prime Minister is talking a lot about the 5 trillion economy. We are all talking about the Vikasit Bharat in the 2047, when we'll have this Vikasit Bharat, or the developed economy. So we need to understand what are the pillars at which, where the growth we are looking into. What are the sectors which is going to contribute at this point of time? Gujarat is the 5th state which is contributing heavily to the growth of India's GDP in comparison to the rest of this thing. So the whole of the onus is very high right now, that if India is trying to achieve something, then substantial target need to be achieved by the state called Gujarat. If you're going to understand what is the Gujarat contribution in terms of manufacturing, I think we must be all knowing that Gujarat is one of the 30% contribution state GDP is by the manufacturing, which is almost similar to the way China and some developing countries are contributing through manufacturing to their economy. So it is a pure manufacturing led economy at this point of time. The other pillar is obviously services, at which we are growing, and the third is the agriculture. So if you are looking into opportunity challenges, yes, agri is not going to grow that much. It's having a lesser growth of around 8% growth. We need to come out with the precision agriculture, newer forms of agriculture at which we can grow for that. The sector which can actually contribute is the manufacturing and services. And if you try to understand the manufacturing or this whole sector of SME in Gujarat, chunk of this SME, which is 90% more, is all in the small and medium enterprises which are there, and that's the whole constituent we have. Less than 5% is the medium, and the large is the lesser percentage of that. So if whole of the family farm, when I start talking about that 68 or 70% of BSc registered companies are the 83%, sorry, 60 is a different, 80 odd percentage. So somewhat this whole, that SMEs that we are looking into is all controlled by majority, let's say 70, 80, that's a percentage controlled by family farm. So this family farm SMEs, which is constituting the chunk of the Gujarat business, need to understand what challenges and what are the areas which are the way the government is right now growing or the industry is shaping, and how we can achieve that thing. We can take into sector wise, what is going to happen to the services sector, to what extent how fintech is going to shape up, or how I think the tourist-based cluster which is going to be developed. We have just one cluster right now, which is Statue of Unity cluster. We are right now trying to develop more than 4 to 5 such clusters which can look into. So if you can start understanding as a business that what are the sectors, what are those areas that the government is right now prioritizing, and in that areas we start working on to fulfill those criteria, I think we can contribute a lot to this state and also to this economy. If we start training our next generation to look into opportunities, look into enterprise, entrepreneurship thought process, that how we can look everything as an opportunity. The whole of the country, our growing population is an opportunity. The way that challenges that we are facing, that we are just within 2 days of rainfall, we have seen what is the whole shape of Ahmedabad. So one way we can see this is the challenge that the city is having. The other way we can look into what is an opportunity we can think into. So if you can look into India or the state as a pure set of opportunity, how we can look into that. So at some extent, we need to understand that our next generation should take each and everything as an opportunity and start looking for solutions, and to what extent we can grow further. And the third aspect on this opportunity and challenges of the family firm, what they can look into is that they need to also understand how the whole startup ecosystem is growing right now. So startup is coming out in terms of solving the problem in a different manner. Lot of the family firms, they have their own groups right now who are investing in the startup. That's the one way to enter into a newer set of technologies or newer set of solutions. Another way to understand that how in a different prospect we are trying to solve this problem. We are all trying out because Gujarat, though one of the leading state in terms of startup ecosystem, but since our contribution to the India in terms of unicorns is very less. So how the family farm, the education and all of industry can combine together, start creating most unicorn and start looking into solving the problem in a better manner. I believe these are the challenges that we can all look into the futuristic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, Professor Hitesh, considering the insight from Mitul and Satyaji, what are some common hurdles and challenges that next-gen entrepreneurs typically face when scaling their family businesses?
He's asking very particular question. Challenges for the next gen. Now you have to see what is next gen, or I have to see it from different angle. Who you are. Are you a next gen who is working under the first gen entrepreneur? And if the first gen is alive and you are grooming under his guidance and ability, your challenges are different, sir. But if the father is not alive and son has to take the reins of the business, the great example of Azim Premji, right? That is a different altogether who you are. Now you see, next gen may be third generation. When you look at the third generation, the first father, sibling, cousins consortium, extended family in the fourth generation, and fifth and sixth, the challenges are different. How? I tell you. When the father has 2-3 children, the value system in the family, I'll not touch the points which Professor Satya has talked about business and all that thing. I'll touch only the family aspect of business, right? The thing is that the value system is same because the parents are same. Now you see, one person in the family is get married, families are developed in one family. When families are developed in one family business, the priorities are different. Their value systems are different. Because when I'm marrying someone is coming to my house, my child will get my value system as well as my wife's value system. So second generation, more or less, they fight for the chocolates like the children's. When they become bigger, their chocolates are different. And mom shares the chocolates. Mom always gives equal to both the child, or now how many numbers are there. But the chocolates on the other side is always better and bigger. And that's why they fight. Why they fight? Now I tell you, in the third generation, if the person is involved in the business, what I mean to say, there is a terminology called owner-operator. I'm an owner, I'm working in the business, the situation is different. My interest is different. Professor Satya, who is my cousin, he's in EDII, he's also an owner because it's an inherent business. This is not our creation. We have gained it from our father. Now Satya is not working in the business, he's an owner. He's an owner manager. He's an owner governance. He's an owner investor. His priority is different. My son, who is looking a future in the business, my interest in the business is different. And suppose my cousin has only daughter. And she is by profession a medical practitioner. And she wanted to start a multi-speciality hospital in Ahmedabad. Now see, my cousin, who is an owner, who may be involved in the business, his life's priority is different, looking to his family situation. I told you that are you one family or there are many families? At what stage of life? See, next gen word itself, I say, next gen has a lot of opportunities along with challenges. Because when next gen is inheriting business, is getting it gift. not only the ownership, but is getting the complexity of relationship in the family. Whether we believe it or not, but a child's first advisor, the child's look at the world, the business world, not from the business school, not from any business book, but through the eyes of the mother. And second, the elder is looking at the family. Because see, the family owner has to see it or manages two things. One is the business aspect and other is the family aspect. Most of the first gen, they have never seen how their children are grown because all the time they are busy with their business. So the children has seen father all the time talking about the business on the dining table with his brother, with his sister, wife. Wives are playing very vital role. I mean to say women are playing very vital role. They are the backbone of the ecosystem. So the first next gen's lesson of business is learned through the eyes of the mothers, the advices they gain from the mothers and the other family members. So my question to you is that, are you inheriting only the ownership? The answer is no. You are carrying so many baggages. When I'm advising so many family business, I ask the entrepreneur, are you sleeping alone with your wife? Or you are sleeping with so many other people taking together in your mind? My brother has not wished me my birthday. There are so many small things that makes a lot of big business. I like to say that, working with so many family businesses from 20,000 to 120,000 crore turnover, what I've learned is business never fail. This is my punchline. I always say business never fail. It's the relationship fail, and as a reaction, business fail. If you cannot manage the differences of your relationship, if you cannot solve it, then you have to manage. The best thing, what you can learn through family business entrepreneurship, education or through practices, we have so many advisors who can advise you how to solve business problems, but there are no advisors who can help you to manage the family aspect of business. That you can learn through family business education. So that's a great challenge, what I think. So first you have to identify at what stage of life you are the next gen and how you take your business to the next level. So again, I'll say Murugappa has a great system. I respect that family very much. M.V. Subbaiah is the first Indian person who has professionalized his business. He has learned the family business at a very senior age when he became a senior citizen. He gone formally and he is a person who has developed a system that we are one family and we must have one vision. I hope I have clear what the next generation and what are the challenges, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Hitesh Bhai. Now, Mr. Mitul, Professor Hitesh has mentioned managing families dynamics. How do you balance innovation and traditional in your family business to mitigate risk like overconfidence and complacency among younger generations?
Yes. So what Sir has said is very important, that there are two aspects. There is a family business and there is a business family. Right. So both are very well interlinked. Talking about my little experience, as a young child, I was, as you said, by my mother. My mother also belonged to a large family business, and she was the youngest in the family, and she had seen my grandfather through his journey from Burma to starting an industry in India. So she made sure, while I was young enough to take care of myself, say around 12 years, 13 years old, in my teens, during my vacation, she made sure that I go to factory with my father. So at least 2 or 3 days, I was supposed to go with my father. And my father would be doing his own work. I'll be moving around with the peon in the factory. We had a paper mill, so paper mill mein जस्ट मूविंग अराउंड द होल डे. कुछ बॉक्स है तो बॉक्स का पीस ले लिया, हाथ से कुछ सैंपल बना के पापा को दिखा दिया, चाचा को दिखा दिया, यू नो कोई मैनेजर को दिखा दिया उधर. सो फॉर मी I started getting conducive to the environment in a very young age. And then I had the stories that I could go back to my friends and tell them. And my mother would ask at the end of the day, how was it? Kya kiya aaj? What happened? Small things. And yeah, that is how I was introduced. And rightly said, sir, rightly, I could really relate how mothers are important in making sure that your child. Second, being human, being grounded is what I have learned from my grandfathers, my uncles, my father. And till date, I always say that I am almost a third generation. So after my grandfather retired, he initiated and my uncles joined, and then I am the one of the youngest, last one to join the business. So I always strongly believed that I am a caretaker of the family business. I am not the owner. The way I have got business from my father in a healthy condition, and the business has given me further opportunity to grow. So my father has given me a strong foundation where I am building a building on it. And I have to make sure that I am able to pass on the same healthy business to my next generation, so he has an opportunity to grow. So ये जो aspects है are very important to have this inculcated in children. So as on today, I talk to my son who is in 10th grade. So लास्ट 2-3 साल से मैं उसको पूछता हूँ, भाई मैं एक्सपांशन कर रहा हूँ, तू ज्वाइन करेगा कि नहीं बिजनेस. मेरी डॉटर को पूछता हूँ. इट इज नॉट आई वॉन्ट एनी अश्योरेंस फ्रॉम देम, बट दे शुड नो कि उनके पास खुद का करने का अपॉर्चुनिटी है. दे वॉन्ट टू ट्राई समथिंग, इट्स ओके, बट दे हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू ज्वाइन द बिजनेस. सो दिस स्मॉल थिंग्स व्हेन यू स्टार्ट डूइंग इन योर फैमिली, तो एक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट होता है, उनको मन में एक जिज्ञासा बसता है. इसको फर्दर हम कैसे रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे. सो आज व्हेन आई गो टू ईडीआई, लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हैव दिस क्वेश्चंस कि मैं इधर पढ़ के जाऊंगा तो मैं फैमिली बिजनेस सेट हो जाऊंगा ना. मैं कहता तेरे को जिम भेज दिया तो बॉडी बिल्डर बन जाएगा. नहीं ना, यू विल हैव टू वर्क हार्ड. इट्स नॉट लाइक यू गो टू अ जिम एंड यू विल बिकम आर्नोल्ड श्वार्ज़नेगर. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. It's up to you. So, what I have learned at EDI, how is it important? I was lucky that मेरे को काफ़ी सारा चीज़ पहले से पता चल गया कि फैमिली में मैं जब बिजनेस में जाऊँ, एंटर करूँगा तो मेरे साथ क्या होने वाला है. What is going to happen to me? First instances. अरे कोई मेरे पे तुरंत काम नहीं देगा. I will have to search for work. I will not have any work. ट्रांसपेरेंसी के लिए पूछूंगा, मेरे को आज क्या करने का है. इट्स नॉट लाइक यू आर गोइंग टू बी बॉस. आप गए फैक्ट्री में और आपका सब बात क्या करना है तो पहले वो ढूंढना पड़ेगा. सो आई हैड बीन टॉट कि दिस इज द थिंग्स यू विल फेस. उसके लिए हमने रिपोर्ट्स बनाए हैं, सब कुछ किया हुआ है. सो नाउ कमिंग बैक कि एक एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर व्हेन ये बिकॉज आई हैव डन दिस एजुकेशन, आई हैव गॉन थ्रू, तो मैं क्या करूंगा अभी फॉर माई नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. आई विल मेक श्योर कि मैं उनको एक क्लैरिटी दूं व्हेन दे कम इन कि आपको अभी क्या करना है आकर के. फर्स्ट 5 थिंग्स आई शुड कीप इट रेडी फॉर देम. आई शुड आस्क देम कि तेरे को क्या सीखना है, व्हाट इज योर इंटरेस्ट. तभी जाके उनको ट्रस्ट बचेगा. आज क्या होता है कि आज फैमिली में मैं जाके क्या करूंगा, मेरा तो कोई सुनता नहीं है. दिस आर कॉमन क्वेश्चंस फॉर ऑल यंग पीपल. आज वही बच्चे के पास पैसा है बहुत सारा, पापा ने सब दिया हुआ है, तो वो जाके स्टार्टअप में इन्वेस्ट करता है या वो स्टार्टअप चालू करता है, बट ही डजंट हैव द पेशेंस टू pitch his idea to his own family. When he, उसके पास फाइनेंस है, उसके पास टीम है, अकाउंट्स है, उसको कुछ नहीं करना है, बिजनेस रेडी है, एक आइडिया पिच करो, लेट द फैमिली मेंबर्स बी इन्वेस्टर्स. यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि आपका फैमिली को आप आइडिया कैसे प्रेजेंट कर पाओ, आप उसको कैसे ट्रस्ट दिलाओ कि मैं बिजनेस करूंगा. So these are all small aspects of governance, transparency, succession planning, hand holding, clarity of role. उसको क्या करना है, उसका आगे ये बिजनेस में उसके पास क्या अपॉर्चुनिटी है, राइट. गवर्नेंस, आज गवर्नेंस हैज बिकम अ बिग थिंग. आज व्हेन देखो 3 brothers इन बिजनेस और उसके बच्चे आ रहे हैं, तो सबको पता होना चाहिए कौन कितना गाड़ी में क्या स्पेंड कर सकता है, कौन वेकेशन के लिए कितना स्पेंड कर सकता है. If it is told very clearly through wives, mothers, it is inculcated. वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हो जाता है कि मेरे पास 1000 रुपए का पॉकेट मनी, मैं 1000 रुपये स्पेंड कर पाऊंगा, खत्म हो गया बात. मेरा भले ही 1000 करोड़ का बिजनेस हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. दिस इज माई, सो वो सब क्लैरिटी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. इंट्रोड्यूसिंग वुमन इन बिजनेस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. आई एम इंट्रोड्यूस माई वाइफ just because if anything happens to me, she should be aware how things has to be run. And she is doing wonders. वो खुद की अपनी opportunities business में लेके आ रही है. So I am having an extra hand in my business. So it's basically, to me, it's clubbing experience with energy and enthusiasm of new gen to propel your business to higher heights. As simple as that. These situations, what you said, अलग अलग का अलग अलग situation रहने लगा. Certain things, constitution है, clarity of है, वो सब if it is embedded in your system, कि भाई हमारे business में कोई भी बच्चा आएगा ना, उसका enter होने का process ये है, उसके साथ ये होने वाला है, उसको ये clarity देने वाला है, then it does wonders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitul. Now, Professor Hitesh, do you believe that participating in entrepreneurship programs can enhance the success rates of the younger generation evolving within family businesses? If so, how?
Okay. Before I jump to your question, I would like to, add something in Mitul's viewpoint. He rightly pointed out for the next gen. I told it's not your own creation; it's an inherent business. So what we have to learn as a next gen is to be a responsible owner. It's not a position. And what he said, next gen should be ready, on whom we can't call as a next gen. If one is my son or daughter, so he gets the right to get into the business? The answer is no. The great example is very close hotel chain. Please read the case study of that hotel, Marriott. One and only son, who worked with his father for 30 years, and when the day come, father said, now I'm going to retire. So naturally, the son think that my father will announce that the next chairman would be my Mr. X or Y. There was a board meeting, and chairman announced that my manager will take over the organization as a next CEO. First time non-family executive. The role of, what I want to add is the role of non-family executives in the family business. Family business cannot grow without the professionals. The meeting was over. The son was, at the age of 35, was crying. The chairman get out of the meeting, hug his son, and he said, I come to know that the chairman has appointed non-family CEO, not you, but my dear son. The chairman's decision was right, because he put the interest of the organization in the center and not the interest of the family in the center. What exactly he said is absolutely right. It's not your right. It's a responsibility. How you will take the business together to the next level, right? It's your liability to take it to the next level and pass it on to the next generation. It's not a position, it's a responsibility. There are n number of case studies where in next gen, I can quote here again example of Toyota Motors. When it was first time entered in the US market, and there were some issues and challenges. Mr. Toyato, the next gen leader who has just taken the reins of the organizations, he fly to US, meet the investors, meet the customers, and he announced, my dear friends, you not buy any product, because what you buy on every product, my family name is there. So rest assured about the quality, rest assured about the services. So that's a responsibility of the next gen leader that you may not find in any other organization other than family business. Now I'm coming to Professor Dave's question that family education will help growing the next child. Of course, you look at the grooming of Kumar Mangalam Birla by his grandfather. Unfortunately, the time has changed. Grandfather or father don't have time to groom the next gen, so they send them to institutes like EDII or other institutes where family business programs are grown. There are special modules here developed and designed to develop next gen leader as a responsible owner. See, for next gen it's not owner, they are the stewards. Their leadership style is a totally different. That module is there as a part of the curriculum that is never taught inside any other business schools. Another things, there are strategies how you can build up your professionalizing your business. Every business school is doing, but no business school is helping you professionalizing your relations. That you can do it through developing and designing your own family constitution. They'll help you to design your family council meeting. Of course, very interesting things that we can get and learn from Godrej, the great example of India. I'll quote all the examples from India, or you quote, say any part of the world, I have the examples. Godrej was the only company that has started junior board. The seniors are sitting in the board meeting, while juniors are sitting outside the board. They are observing and learning how my seniors are taking decisions. It's not you are the owner, so you have to take the decision, my son or my daughter wants to do this. No. What Mitul said is absolutely right. Why don't you pitch your idea to your family? See, I tell you, next gen must be willing to take the business. This is very important thing. One of my friend in Rajkot, you know him, he belongs to a manufacturing company in Rajkot. His turnover in 1993 was 300 crore. 4 brothers in the first generation, all daughters, and their family has a rule that the daughters will not come and join the business. There was only child, his real name is Ram. He said to his father that I am not interested, father, in your business. I have some other dream. And they sit together. He has started another business that is in not manufacturing, he's into service industry. And he has grown it like anything. And still his manufacturing business is worked through non-family executive. Cipla is another case. Rain Buxy, when you see, not now, Rainbox is sold to Japan and then to Sun Pharma, but you look at when Baimon Singh's son, who has removed Baimon Singh, Dr. Parvinder Singh. Parvinder Singh, when he died, his sons were two quite young child. The non-family executives has done that. That aspect is taught inside the institutes like EDII. They have designed this kind of module. So I believe personally and professionally going to, our live example is Mitul. He said that before a few minutes that I've learned all that things in my family from his mother and then professionally from his teachers in institutes like EDII. So I personally believe that this is possible. You can take your business to the next level as well to your family relation, personal relation to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sukla. Now, Professor Satya, how do entrepreneurial education programs influence the mindset of young individuals entering family businesses, and how can this impact the future of these enterprises?
Thank you. I think we discussed a lot about the way the things are shaping up right now. So, the first one is about to train our next generation how to make the business in the flight mode. So, if this existing business is there, rather than spending lot many time, to what percentage of your time you are trying to manage the business, and how you can make the business in the flight mode, something like how the business can run it by themselves or by the professionals, so that you can get enough time so that you can think about some other opportunities, the way the whole environment is shaping, another thing. And second part is all about the whole logic of internship. So in a professional education, we all talked about that the student should get internship in a business or other areas. So in a similar case in the family farm, the way Mitul was talking about that, his family at the age of 10 or something, he can go inside to the company and start understanding what is happening. So to what extent we are training our next generation inside the business to understand how the business is being done from the very early stage will obviously provide a lot many education. Third part is about there are so many ways we can learn right now. One is, yes, there are a lot many social media to all this online education, a huge contents are right now available. So, but somebody want to understand about the knowledge or skill, I think that is available. But bigger part what I understand is also about networking. The whole business is growing is all about networking. So when Mitul was talking about that he is going to Germany or to other places and start networking, I think that networking is very essential. Today with the age of social media, we are all right now getting isolated in one corner. So I believe the education need to bring individual inside to a classroom to create the network, to create the group so that we can learn from each other. So there is something called theory, the way it has been done in some other thing, but the way something is I'm doing in my company, somebody else is talking about that, how I'm doing in their company. If that networking is combined together, then the students or the next generation can learn both from theory and the practical, and that combination is essential. And the last part, I think we all talked about pitching. I think we are, when I talked about the lot many family members, they said my son is not interested in the same type of business, or he wants to expand or do something different. Nothing wrong in that. Obviously, you'll be looking into opportunities, but whenever looking into a newer opportunity, you need to have a complete plan that how the next generation want to expand, what is an opportunity and why they believe this opportunity can provide a better return or a better stability to the existing business. So those understanding about the business, the growth, how it can take place, if we can combine together, the learning can make a lot many sense. I think we have a lot many questions. We can take it to the audience and take their learning out.
I have one question for you, Dr. Hitesh Bhai. Now, if you can just, with an example, if you can just give a successful business transition story, also this with the woman empowerment,
Okay.
and with live example, yes.
Women are playing very vital role. I said, if you have to understand family business, don't go to the living room of the family, go to the kitchen. You will understand something different. The great example I would like to quote here about a woman entrepreneur is Thermex. Right? The mother and the son, and the daughter. Son died. Daughter take it to the, not to the second level, third level, but to the fifth level with the husband. Husband become the support system of the wife, the great example. And then they have made it a professionally managed organization and handed over the reins to the professionals. And they sit on the back seat. So I said, who you are, NextGen? Are you an investor? Are you in the governance? Are you in the operator's mindset? So when you talk about NextGen, you have to see the willingness of the NextGen, acceptability of the family, not only the family, but the other stakeholders who are involved in the business. All right, if the acceptability is there, and the very important is the ability. But this ability, I believe, my father don't. That's a big challenge for the next gen. Again, the great example of current time is Apollo Hospital, Dr. Pratap Reddy, having 4 daughters. Then I know one girl from Chennai. She's managing her father. His brother is not taking over. He is interested in IT field. So sari business, manufacturing cloth, that was taken over by Tanya. She is from Chennai. She's all the way studied from US and take over the business to the next level. She created an online platform using the technology and created a great brand of India to international level. So women are playing vital roles. So believe me, now the family size is shrinking. Earlier there were more number of members in the family. Now my own sister is having only one child, daughter, and she's taking care of her business. So that's possible, and they have better opportunities. We should not restrict to any gender, and we should give them the equal opportunity. And I believe when a man, please excuse me anybody, when man is stuck, the greatest support system, whether it is finance or non-finance, both come from the wife or the mother. So first advisor is mother, and hope you understand the second advisor. Thank you very much.
Now we'll take some quick questions from audience. So request you to please be specific about your question.
Well, if there are no questions, then let me start with one.
Yes.
So, I was I was trying to write down a question to just draft it properly, but then while I was writing, I was not able to focus on what you were all speaking, so I didn't. So we are talking about challenges more. Let me talk about some opportunities and ask you a question on that. These days, everyone knows the new generation is becoming too aspirational. Nothing wrong in that, of course. But that aspirations are different. They want to establish that I can do something. So when you have done something, I can also do something. Once again, nothing wrong in that. As you all said, diversification or getting into a new product line or getting into some new industry, almost welcome. But then that generational gap of doing things differently, doing things my way. So these, along with the ecosystem of startups, which once again I feel like it's like that education which has a reservation. I do not want to take a risk of failure. So rather than using my father's money, I go for a startup where I am not responsible for anything. So that is how all these, and then we say 95% of the startups are failing. In this background, talking about opportunities, where do you feel, or in future, how much do you feel these family businesses will survive? Because the age of the family business, as I would say, like you mentioned, some business is 1,000 years old, some businesses, if we were talk about our own self, 200 years for Tatas, where do you feel in the coming times a new company is coming up which will maybe run for 200 years or maybe run for 400 years? Anyone who can, I mean.
It's a good question. Thank you for the question. See, you look now it in the different angle. One is a family. I, you, and the cousins and family members, the resources. Other is the business. If family and business will work together, I give you a guarantee we will not go beyond third generation. Only 3% businesses go beyond third generation. But to make it a 200-year or 500 or 1,000-year-old organization, are the organization where non-family executives, I've given you the example of Cipla. Professional Cipla, yes. Wherein, see, if the family business accept the ability of others and do work as per their advice. The first is to change the mindset that they know better than me, though I am owner. If we change the mindset and accept the people, Narpat Luthra, who has given 45 years to Kirloskar brothers, and believe me, that gentleman, the owner, it's written in their book, and it's in their personal interview, he said that we work what Narpat Luthra say. My father, Mr. Kirloskar, told his two sons that you should follow what he said. And they groom under that gentleman. Another example is Bajaj's son. When they moved to Pune, outskirts of Pune, when they started the manufacturing unit, his father has put him under the non-family executives that you have to work. And he groomed. He has hired people from Japan, Mr. Yokomachi. He worked under him. He invited him to India. Mr. Yokomachi lived with the family for 3 years at different times. And they worked what he said. So if we change the mindset and add the third circle, you see, Tata, you have to given the example. How many family members are there? You see, how many Birlas are there in the, I mean to say Birlas means the core family members. See, if you give freedom and flexibility to non-family executives and take them, allow them to take the business to the next level, believe me, all the three peoples have different aspirations. What the family want? The name, the legacy. What the business want? Growth. The finance, balance it. What the non-family executives want? The freedom, flexibility, and of course, the families, the professional growth in terms of money and position. If these three things combine and you develop a common vision, then the business will go beyond any generation. And believe me, every generation has an opportunity to create their own legacy. What Ratan Tata has created. See, what was the legacy of JRD Tata? And what is his legacy? See, he has given freedom to, you take the example of Tata, you take examples of any organizations where the topmost position of all these things, if it is reserved for the family business, the business will never grow. It is, if my son, what he said, if he capable, I said able, willing, and acceptable. Then only give them the position. Acceptable means not accepted by me, accepted by my non-family investors, by the community, by my employee. If my son joins the business and his paycheck is some crore rupees or some lakh rupees, my non-family executives will say, हाँ ये सेठ का बेटा है ना, उसको तो check मिलेगा ही मिलेगा. But you know, if my son, I know one family here in Ahmedabad who is having private airports in some part of the country and outside India. They are into aviation business. His son was coming and joining the business. So there was a big cabin created, and his father is my friend. So he say, I said, ये किसका cabin है? सर अपना बेटा आ रहा है ना कल इसका cabin है. अगर मैं I said, if you are a real father and wants him to grow, don't open the cabin. Allow him to go to soft floor. Let him to work under the non-family executive. Now my point is that no non-family executives is ready to train him. Ask me why. They were threatening. ये तो सेठ का बेटा है, कल जाके बोलेगा इसके अंडर में मुझे काम करना है. We gave some senior people, we call and we requested them, don't worry about your job, don't worry about anything. So he groomed on manufacturing, marketing, finance, etc. Business is all about 360 degree. So one needs to pass through the process. Right. So that's the way you can.
I agree to that because I've seen a lot of foreign companies groom their second generation the same way. They start with spending time with the janitor and then they gradually move to different departments and come up.
The example what hotels I have given you, his father hugged his son and answered him that my son, I know if I have to run restaurant, I will not get any better safe than you in the world. But I don't have to run restaurant only. I have to run hotel. Restaurant is a part of the business. So to be a chairman, you must know the 360-degree business. And I'm sure you're my son. If you work under him for next 3 years with a common vision, see, very important is a common vision. Not mine, not you. I think you can take the business to the next level and take over in next 3 years. So it's all about earning the business, not gifting the business. Why business fail? We talk in family, बेटा तू कुछ कर कि नहीं कर, ये chair तुम्हारा है. समझ लो business गया. If we capable, then only the chair is his. Right?
Yeah, just one or two line, I think. So, just to quickly add to the things that Sir is talking about, I think when you try to manage business at different levels, somebody from 0 to 100 CR or 100 to 1000 or 1000 to 10,000, the whole way the business need to be managed changed. So, when the family has seen that this is the range, they have come to this level. But when they want to go for the next level or next jump or 10x or 20x, so there we need some professional understanding to grow. One more question was about the failure in startup. Again, I think this 90% failure in startup is something I believe strongly it is a more of a theoretical way. Nobody has a complete data set to prove that it is happening in India. But since the media is writing everybody writes that the third generation family farm is dying. It's some survey at some point of time and one part of the world has taken place and we are all continuing. Same is the case that 90% or 90% of startup firms are dying. Just to give an idea that some 1 lakh other startups are right now in Startup India portal. No survey or no research has been still now done to justify on the last 3 years how many of them, or let's say 90% of them died. So do we have how are you going to define death of a startup? Is it the company has closed down, the company is not operating, is the sales is not there, because these are not the parameter at which we analyze the startup. So I think failure is a different part, but when next generation is trying out with startup or whatever the way we define failure, I think that is a very positive way because we understand that failure provides a huge amount of learning. That if I'm going to do in this manner, this is the way I'm going to be getting success. So I'll be obviously pivoting, try to do something different where I can grow. So these learning for the next generation by trying out with startup is certainly going to contribute back in their own business at some point of time. So, and overall business may be a sector specific. To what extent the family understand which are the newer sector which is coming up and how we can work on that, that can only help them for the next 100 years or 200 years or 1000 years rather than concentrating on core area, because core sector as the time passed on will have a different ways, they may not be relevant also. Yeah, I think Mithun want to say something otherwise.
Yeah, just to sum it up, my own little experience on this is that my father had given me opportunity to fail. My father had given me opportunity to fail. If he had not given me the opportunity to fail, I would have never learned. So, if you are, talking about your kids or your brother's kids or who are aspiring to join the business, how do you draw a line of failure? Okay, bhai dekh, this is what I can give you, right? इसमें तू आगे करेगा क्या? My father always, even till date, we have debates, discussions on the table. He is a friend to me. I am lucky to have a father like him. So he'll pose questions. He will I have never heard him saying this. If I'm presenting something to him, he'll never say, why this? So how will you tackle this? If this problem comes, what will you do? And I have failed in 2 businesses and I have grown in 2 businesses also. So this is my own little experience to give a chance for them to failure. First, accepting them as an idea. कि नहीं यार फैमिली बिजनेस है, सब चाचा बच्चा हाँ नहीं करेंगे, ना नहीं करेंगे, चल बेटा let's present it, let's work on it, मेरे को prove करके दे. And everybody in the family should be given that opportunity. वो एक cohesiveness होना चाहिए कि who will manage, कौन करेगा, तू कितना टाइम देगा, कौन कितना इन्वेस्ट करेगा, So sometimes no also can be an answer that the next generation should know आज नेक्स्ट जनरेशन विदाउट एक्सपीरियंस वो बोलते हैं यार पापा मेरे को स्टार्टअप इन्वेस्ट करना है. अरे तेरे पास नॉलेज क्या है, तू वो स्टार्टअप इन्वेस्ट क्यों कर रहा है, वाई? सो हम इफ यू स्टार्ट पोजिंग क्वेश्चंस, देन इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग नो वी स्टार्ट पोजिंग क्वेश्चंस कि तू क्यों करना चाहता है, व्हाट्स तेरे को इसमें अपने बिजनेस में क्यों अपॉर्चुनिटी. बालाजी केस, आई एम वेरी क्लोज टू चंदू भाई. वंस आई वाज सिटिंग विद हिम कि मैं तो लेके बालाजी का नाम है ना, तो मैं यूएस में जाता हूं तो वो कंपनी वाला मेरे को गाड़ी भेजता है. खाली चंदू भाई जाएगा ना यूएस तो कोई गाड़ी नहीं भेजेगा. मैं के शेयर मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट नहीं करता हूं, मेरे को मेरी कंपनी पर भरोसा है, मैं उसको ग्रो करूंगा. If you sit with Chandu bhai for half an hour, it's like coming out of an MBA school. So, it's a small experience you keep on learning from this kind of people. Networking is important, talking to people is important. Certain forums में आप रहते हो ना, तो it doesn't make a difference कि आप 50 लाख का बिजनेस कर रहे हो क्या 100 करोड़ का कर रहे हो. But that forums gives you an opportunity to मीट लॉट ऑफ पीपल. एंड वो जब फोरम में होता है ना, तो दूसरे वाले को फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि 50 लाख वाला 1 करोड़ वाला है, मेरे 100 करोड़ वाले से बात करते हैं ना, ऐसा नहीं होता है. देन एवरीबडी इज इक्वल इन अ फोरम. सो वी शुड एनकरेज अवर किड्स टू जॉइन फोरम्स, एसोसिएशंस एंड नेटवर्किंग.
So, just that when the business is given to the younger generation, what is the right age when the senior generation should exit? Is it important for the senior generation to exit, or it will be an interference? First of all, what is the right time? What criteria is there to decide that now I think I can give the rights to all the rights to this guy and let him manage, and the failures that might come? So again, what are the factors that determine that these failures, this much failure is okay, but beyond a point, probably this guy is not fit for the job?
So, okay, फेलियर को डिफाइन करना और लॉस को डिफाइन करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है, राइट? बट इट इज ऑल द एज अ if I am responsible, as I told you, I am always responsible, I am a caretaker of my business. So I should know how much risk I have to take. My family wealth, my family well-being should not suffer. If I have been taught that, and if I teach this to my coming generation, then I am not worried. So that is one part. हाँ, अभी कोविड आ गया एंड बिजनेस फेलियर हो गया, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग, विच इज थिंग्स आउट ऑफ योर कंट्रोल आर डिफरेंट. व्हाट एज? देयर इज नो एज. बिरला जी थे तो वो 20 साल में आ गए थे बिजनेस में, बराबर कि नहीं?
There's only one answer to all your question is when one will be a responsible owner, hand over it. Whatever age, it may be 10, it may be 100.
Yeah, so how do you define that? One,
There-
number two, when does a senior person exit from the business? Or should he
One-
exit or not?
Once the next gen is responsible owner, the responsible word, it has no number.
Again, subjective.
Not subjective, not subjective. You define your success. What is said, I have written in my book, your own family is not means your life is not depend on your business. If your life is depend on your business, you cannot take risk. If your life is not depend on your business, means your day in and day out, you can take any risk. So that's only one word. I've answered your all questions. When one person is a responsible, leave it.
गिविंग अप ओनरशिप इज अ डिफिकल्ट थिंग फॉर अ फर्स्ट जेन, क्योंकि फर्स्ट जेन वाले को अभी भी हाँ नहीं, इमोशनल अटैचमेंट नहीं. वो सर वो गाड़ी 10,000 की जगह सर 12,000 रुपये मांग रहा है, तो आपको वो छोटा काम करने में मजा आता है, बिकॉज सब आपको पूछने आता है, आपको अच्छा लगता है, राइट? माई फादर ऑल्सो आस्क्ड मी, मितुल आज क्या है, नाइट शिफ्ट है? मैं सर पापा आई स्टॉप लुकिंग इनटू नाइट शिफ्ट. मेरा प्रोडक्शन हेड है, मार्केटिंग वाला है, जितना काम करना है, काम ज़्यादा है तो नाइट शिफ्ट करेंगे. मैं वीकली एक रिपोर्ट लेता हूँ, मैं आपको वीक के एंड में रिपोर्ट भेज दूंगा. सो ही इज ओके विद दैट. ही लाइक्स द वे आई वर्क ऑन इट, राइट? आई एम रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू आंसर हिम बिकॉज ही इज अ फाउंडर, इज एन एल्डर. ही हैज ऑल द राइट्स टू आस्क मी. आई कैन नॉट से कि नहीं તમારે જોવાની જરૂર નથી. नहीं, I cannot say. I am responsible. Papa, if I don't have, I'll make sure I give him a proper report and make sure he has still have the confidence on me. राइट सो वैसा जब सिचुएशन आता है देन नेचुरली सीनियर्स धीरे धीरे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से अपने आप ही निकलने लगते हैं. हाँ.
Yeah. M.B. Subbiah is a great example from Indian history, from Murugappa group. He made a rule that one person in our family, when he is 65, means he has to retire. When he is 65 and his next gen was not ready, then what to do? He said, if I have made the rule, I have to follow. Means I am going to retire. He removed his card from his mobile, handed over to the non-family executives that now I'm going to US. I have all your numbers and contact. Please don't contact me. Means छोड़ दिया. Otherwise I have left. कल से तू ये गाड़ी संभालेगा, but you know मैं पूछेगा कैसे चला रहा है. Don't do it. He left, putting one non-family executives and giving all freedom to his son and his nephews. Right? Though they were not responsible sometime, but you have to take risk, you know. When you started the business, how you define your responsibility? We have made so many mistakes. So let's allow our next gen to make mistakes and to learn. There's only one great person, I respect him, he has written my foreword of my book, Farhad Forbes Marshall, Pune. Once you get any chance to visit that organization, please meet Farhad Forbes and his brother, Nausad. They have a system to celebrate failure. If I am failure, I will call everyone कि भाई आ जाओ यार, आज मेरे से ये गलती हो गया, ऐसा हुआ. So आगे से तू ये मत कर. Whether he is a family or non-family. They've created a museum that is bigger than this hall and written every lessons, what we have learned from our mistakes. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Professor Satya, for the interest of the audience, if you can just brief in short about the programs you are undertaking as EDI, because
okay. I think,
most of the people, they are not aware.
Yeah, I think we talked a lot about the family farm and the failure, how you need to define. I think there are many issues are there. And I believe that we need to focus more on entrepreneurship as an education and try to find out that how can develop as a 360-degree personality who can manage the business and manage the leadership and create the networking in that way. We offer some of the program in the postgraduate level at master's level program when we train people in their family business to create new enterprise. That's the type of program we offer. Most of this information there in our website. If you have any specific queries, certainly I can do. Since we are running out of time, I don't want to extend on that particular thing. Thanks a lot for asking us. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, our discussion today has highlighted the intricate dynamics and opportunities within family businesses. We have explored the challenges faced by next-gen leaders, identified strategic opportunities in the market, and emphasized the transformative role of entrepreneurial education in ensuring a smooth transition and sustainable success for these enterprises. As we move forward, it is clear that equipping future generations with the right skill and mindset through programs like entrepreneurial education will be pivotal in maintaining the legacy and driving the growth of family businesses in India. Thank you to our panelists, Professor Hitesh Shukla, Mr. Mitul Shah and Professor Satya Acharya for sharing your invaluable insights and experiences with us today. Let us contribute to support and nurture the next generation of leaders in the family businesses. Thank you once again.